We are on a phenomenal piece of property right off of Route 60 that sits between Camp Gross and Lilydale. And it just sort of calms you and lets you put some of the stresses and strains of the outside world behind you for a while.
What we're seeing here are some nuggets within this forest type that are kind of rare. There are a lot of things about this system, the combination of different traits that we're seeing here, that make this place really float to the top.
This property is particularly peaceful. It's always surprising. You walk in and you've got the busiest highway in the county, Route 60, passing right by, and you don't hear the traffic.
You know, I think people are always naturally drawn to water. They want to look at it, they want to be on the water, in the water. So we're very fortunate to be so blessed.
This is a special place. It's got lakes, it's got ponds, it's got wetlands, it's got forests. It's got a diversity of life here that we're just starting to explore.
We really are fortunate for a county our size in a rural part of New York State to have so many wonderful natural assets. And that's something that has a huge impact on tourism and our ability to have a great and thriving tourism economy.
The more people that we can bring to our community, the more that will support our local businesses. The nature preserve would give us another very important piece of the whole puzzle.
We're bordering a lake here that's being used for recreational purposes. These upland areas that protect the watersheds below are critical for the health of these lakes and critical for our tourism, critical for all the real estate. People who like to live on lakes would like to keep these lakes healthy.
Whether you're going to the National Comedy Center, or you're going to Chautauqua Institution, or you want to go fishing on Chautauqua Lake, or you want to kayak on Cassadaga Lakes, or have your wedding around the bend, there needs to be other things to do, and this is a lovely thing to do.
Money invested in the right places at the right times will certainly allow us to save a lot of money downstream, literally.
I believe a nature park is important because it gets people out of their houses, out in front of a TV set, and out into nature. And there's a tremendous health benefit to that too. I mean, people are hiking, they're teaching their children how to appreciate nature, which is something that I don't see being done to a great extent.
At the right time of year, these are breeding hotspots for really unique animals that have all kinds of fascinating stories. So taking people here, it's like a treasure hunt.
So many people today are in a frantic kind of lifestyle. The importance of emotional and spiritual and mental health is something that I think a lot of people are understanding the natural world can address.
Being out in nature has a documented positive impact on people's physical and mental well-being. This would not only serve all of the passerbys coming up Route 60, but it's also a great place for people from the local community.
Not a lot of people have the ability to walk out their door or take a short drive or walk and get to the natural beauty like we see here in this potential nature preserve in Cassadaga. And that's just so unique and special.
So the perception that people have of nature, especially nature in their backyard, is just an incredibly impoverished version of what's truly out here. These impoverished versions of nature that we're getting used to, that we're always exposed to, don't have the same ecosystem functions that a nature park do, that a natural area does.
Both Lilydale and Camp Gross have done a wonderful job in protecting large chunks of their forest areas. And this piece that sits right in the middle between those two would be an incredible addition to the overall wildlife corridor that exists here.
It's also kind of unique because we're standing here by what's called a vernal wetland. So it's kind of a unique piece of habitat that brings unique species with it that we would like to protect here.
It's a special place. Wetlands around the country are disappearing quickly. You know, the hydrological, the flood control, the filtering of the water before it gets into the lake, the purification of the water, again, oxygen. Trees, green things create oxygen.
the little brown bat, which has been decimated by disease and impacts from human activities, they need large open lakes like the Cassadaga Lake system in order to forage and catch insects as they're emerging out of the water. So this property is extremely important.
We have enough of a history, recent history, to realize that if you don't take measures to protect our lakes and waterways, that horrible things can happen. 4 years ago, the city of Toledo lost its water supply for 4 days because of a harmful algal bloom. They couldn't draw water out of the drinking water. So if we don't protect it, there is a history of a very severe consequence, well beyond tourism, but right into the health and safety of our people. So it's incredibly important that we do so.
So all of the water that's passing in the agricultural fields up above in the watershed and coming along the highway in Route 60 gets filtered through this property before it goes into Cassadaga Lake. And that's really crucial in maintaining the water quality of the lake.
I think the issue is that wild properties like this are disappearing and disappearing quickly. So for those people that have the opportunity to contribute, this is something that will provide a lasting legacy.
Your money could be used in a positive way that could enhance a community, that could enhance the environment, that could bring people together.
We would be very grateful if you would invest in joy and beauty and a legacy that will go on for many, 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 many decades to come.
As a conservation biologist and having worked in Chautauqua County, it's pretty rare to come across areas like this, pieces of land that have so much potential. The potential for great exposure to a lot of people, easy access, the truly important nature value of this area. It's hard to put a dollar value on that. So in order to get the most bang for your buck, a place like this would be a really good investment for the long term.
You get this extreme satisfaction in knowing that these properties are protected forever, so it's the audacity of perpetuity. I get a great sense of satisfaction out of coming out and looking around and knowing that these properties will be here long after most of us are gone.
Yeah, we have the ability here now to take something that, really, it was a God-given piece of nature and preserve it for everyone's use and enjoyment.